Hey, peace, family. This is Shofar from Faux Show Energy Work, and I'm here today to talk about the male ego, me. We live in a culture where it's a lot of focus on me, 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 and so that's the masculine or the male energy, or the masculine or male ego. And first off, I want to state that this video is not to demonize in any way the masculine energy or the male ego. It's a necessary part of nature and life, and actually helps bring us into alignment. We can't actually live without it, and that's male or female. So just want to state that from the jump. But we're also in a place where if it's overstated, it can become toxic, and that's where we're at on the planet. It's when the male ego or the masculine energy is overstated, and we're in that me focus to a place of just being overstated. Then what happens is that it can actually be a negative thing, and that's what we're seeing on the planet right now. So just want to go a little bit into that. The purpose of the video is just to provide some talking points, maybe for introspection on that, so that we can all shift and bring ourselves into balance, and thus also bringing society and humanity as a whole more into balance. And the things that we want to look at, when we talk about the male ego or masculine energy, as opposed to the woman's ego, or the feminine energy, but women's ego, we're talking about we, we. Whereas with the masculine energy or the male ego, we're talking about me. And so, like I said, we want to be in a place of nature where, if we look in our body, the masculine energy, whether it's in a female gendered body or male gendered body, it's the white blood cells. It's when there's an invader, the white blood cells attack. It's also that energy that with the cells, it keeps certain things out of the cell, and only let certain things permeate the cell, and that serves a purpose. So we're not talking about we want to get rid of the masculine energy or the male ego altogether, but especially when we take the masculine energy to the sphere of mind, that's when it actually becomes ego. We have to be very cognizant about how it's used, and only use it as a tool, because as human beings, we are set up to be interdependent beings. And right now on the planet is operating from a place of being individuals. And I remember it was Ra'un Nefer Amin in the Medunatir, Meadow Netter, depending on who you ask how you pronounce that, but the Medunatir book, he speaks on the word individual as broken down from the ancient Egyptians, where it comes from. If you actually look at it, it's more like indivisible dualism, and it has the word dual in it, individual or dual. So it's actually understanding that there's a dualism or connection that we can't ever escape, and that we are interdependent. So when we're too deep into when we take the masculine energy to the realm of the mind, and it's overdone, and too strong, then what will happen is we'll come from a place of having that me focus, and it won't be in a healthy way of setting up boundaries and limitations like the white blood cells do, like the cell does on the cellular level, and says what can come in and what can't. It actually be overdone, and that's what we're seeing. So that's something to look at. And then also some of the negative traits of so the positive traits is that it sets up boundaries and limitations, but when that's overdone, then we can move into a place of where we're talking about division, and putting up fucking borders and walls, and keeping let's keep the immigrants out and everything like that. There's a place for it, but then it can be overdone. So when we have division, we have individualism, we have comparison. This is another big one with the mind too. The male mind is the male energy is that, or male ego is that it can get into this place of comparison. And when division and individualism and comparison are done from a place of not having kindness, you know. So you have D-I-C with no K, it just makes us a dick. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're looking at right now on the planet. We have too much division and too much individualism and too much comparison. And without any kindness or without any of the heart energy to bring that into balance, into, if we are going to divide, because it is needed sometimes, but to do that from a place of kindness. If we're going to be an individual, understand, again, kindness, and then comparison, you know, compare for the sake of the whole. And these are things that are kind of missed out now, because as we're missing out with human beings actually evolving, it's just pulling on the negative traits of the male ego. And again, I want to point out that this is in men and women, because we're in a very special place. Like, the alarm should go off for us when we're seeing women on the planet not even being able to move past that energy, and you know, seeing them being all wrapped up on their phone or something like that, on an expression of themselves, and maybe letting their kid, you know, something hazardous happening to the kid, or you know, just neglecting the kid because of being self-absorbed. Again, there's a healthy place for being focused on self, but then it can go into a place of where that becomes detrimental to the environment and other human beings around us. And so when we start to see that toxic masculinity seep over and spill over into the feminine, we have a real problem. And so because the feminine in general gets the interdependence and connection, because if a woman becomes a mother, she is physically connected to another being that is dependent on her for survival. You know, I mean, physically connected with the umbilical cord. And so that is why with them, they tend to get at a very deep level our interconnectedness. So when we start to see that the feminine on the planet is not even understanding that, when you go to some beautiful woman's you know, social media page or whatever, and it's just all stuff about her and all pictures of them, of her, then we can start to see where it's that masculine energy now has taken over to a place of individualism and narcissism even. And that's the state of things. So anyway, this video was just to provide some talking points. Again, not to shit on the masculine or anything like that. I love my fucking dick and balls and everything. I love being a male on this planet, but we also want to bring things back into a place of loving balance. And so it takes for us to kind of point these things out sometimes. If this video in any way resonates with you, or if you have any questions about it, or hit me up. I also do sessions, you know, counseling for men and women, couples as well, and then have energy work sessions to help us bring our balance energetically and emotionally, and also have a book, Sacred Orgasmic Living, Soul. Sacred Orgasmic Living, to go deeper into some of the things that I was talking about here today. If you like this video, please share it, subscribe, and see you soon. Keep shining, keep climbing. One.